Mr. Ng and GPC members have proposed that we ban smoking at balconies and windows at homes. We are just as keen to resolve this issue and have carefully studied these suggestions. Unfortunately, besides the fact that such legislation could be highly intrusive, there are significant practical challenges in enforcement that limit effectiveness. First, enforcement will be challenging as capturing evidence of the smoking offense is not straightforward. Smelling the tobacco smoke is not sufficient as cameras must capture the smoker smoking or holding a lighted cigarette as evidence for enforcement. However, a smoker can easily hide behind a pillar, frosted glass, windows, or curtains to avoid detection by the camera. Overall, this may entail deployment of significant resources without achieving effective outcomes. Second, to capture the smoking act, the camera must be placed at suitable vantage points to probe into the window or balcony. For towering flags, finding the right vantage point in common areas to deploy the camera is not always possible. Directly aiming cameras into homes is highly intrusive. Unlike surveillance for high-rise littering, where the camera is trained at the building facade and can be placed at ground level some distance away. Finally, this will exacerbate existing concerns about privacy and infringing the owner's rights to his or her own private space. Meadows at Piers is a case in point. A dispute had ensued in 2017 between the Condominium Management Committee and its residents when a circular directed residents to refrain from smoking at balconies and windows. Some residents argued that the management committee should not take actions in private spaces. We have studied overseas practices too, some of which were cited by the member. Globally, there are few instances of bans on smoking in homes. In the US, the smoking ban in homes is limited to public rental housing, which accounts for a tiny fraction, in fact 1% of the total housing stock. In Australia, some states ban smoking in common areas of multi-unit housing and exempt private spaces, although the owner corporations can adopt their own bylaws to cover these private living areas. Indeed, this is similar to what we have in Singapore. Smoking is already banned in many common areas of residential estates. MCSDs can opt to adopt bylaws to expand the ban in their estates with support from residents. In US, the ban is enforced by public housing authorities, while in Australia, the owner corporations have to enforce the ban. Even in countries where there are bans, effectiveness has been mixed and uncertain at best. In US public housing, there was difficulty in securing evidence for enforcement, and smokers also saw this as a violation of privacy. The difficulties in enforcing against smoking in homes and privacy concerns can lead to greater frustration, exacerbate disputes, and increase social tensions. This was the case at Meadows at Piers, and the overseas examples show that enforcement is indeed challenging.